Happy Friday! How's everyone doing? Pamela here with Passionate About Scrapbooking, your Stampin' Up demonstrator. I'm here live today for Feel Good Friday, live with Pamela, where I'm going to share with you how to create a super fun fold card. I think we'll call it the Flippy Fun Fold Card. You could do Flippy Flap, Flip Flap. So I just snagged the name from a fellow demonstrator, Melissa Faust, and recreated a card. I was inspired by her and another demonstrator. I don't remember what the other demonstrator's name was, but we're going to have some more fun today with the Round We Go bundle, stamp set and dies, creating this something similar. I'm going to do something a little bit different, so I have two different samples. But let me look. So if you're joining me, say hello. I would love to know who's here. I was going to look for something real quick. Let's see, I have a couple of things I wanted to share before we get started. But let me see. I'll maybe share that. Check that out. Isn't that darling? Or aren't those darling? 12 beautiful projects made with the October 24 Nests of Christmas paper pumpkin kit. I'm part of a design team that we get our kits. So they usually ship out right after the 11th of the month. So we get them anywhere from a week to 10 days probably after. And then we each create a project and a PDF to share. And then, can't think of her name now, Rachel Tessman. She's the one that coordinated all of this, and she puts this beautiful graphic together right here of all our sneak peeks, and then our PDF file together, which I'm hoping will go out to my Paper Pumpkin subscribers today. So you'll get a big PDF with all the projects, with instructions and photos and so forth from 12 amazing Stampin' Up demonstrators. So that happens every month around the first of the month. So if you missed out on October's, be sure to sign up for Paper Pumpkin. Make me your demonstrator, and then you'll receive the November 24 Paper Pumpkin PDF exclusives from Paper Pumpkin Creatives on around December 1st, and so forth. So if you have questions about that, let me know. And then one other thing I wanted to see if I could share with you. Let me see if I can find my graphic that will maybe work well. See what this does. Not sure if that's going to work. Let me go back. Here we go. There we go. Yeah, maybe that'll work. We'll see. Let me go back to my live. Oh, here we go. This is what I need to do. So give me a second. So I also have, let's see if that'll open up. Let me see if I can make it smaller for y'all. I don't know. If I can make it smaller. There we go. Should have had this ready ahead of time. So this is my BOGO sale that's happening in a private Facebook group. Good morning, Deborah. Thank you so much for joining me and for commenting. So excited, yay! Time to recreate. So my BOGO sale, buy one, get one free is in a private Facebook group. There is a link in the description so you can join my group, but when you shop my retired close to my heart products that are in the albums of that group, you can choose to get either equal dollars in new Stampin' Up product or more retired close to my heart product. So all the information about that is inside that group. So just be sure to check my description and find the link for that. So I added ink pads, close to my heart ink pads, and re-inkers and cardstock yesterday. So they're already flying out the door. So if you want some, I still have tons, of course. And there's stamp sets, stamps and thin cuts, workshop kits, bundles, all kinds of stuff in there. I'm just trying to clear it out so I can make room for more Stampin' Up goodies. All right, so let's get busy. This is the card we're going to create today. Look how pretty this one is. So this design was inspired by another demonstrator, and then the Fun Fold was inspired by Melissa Faust. So I love how it turned out, super dimensional. Might have to put it in a little bit bigger envelope or just give it as is like this as well. So I'm playing with the Sweet Days of Autumn's Designer Series paper. So I put a little bit of that inside there, and then using the colors that are in that collection, I have these two stamp sets, and then these are some of the other colors that are also in there, which we might use because I think I'm going to recreate something a little bit different design as far as I wanted to use a little bit more of the pattern paper, I think. So let's move some things around. I have some items in here that I'll be using. This is from the, don't remember, let me see, let me grab it. Everyday Details, I think that's what it's called. Yeah, Everyday Details. So there's this one right here inside here that I'm going to use. And I just wanted to show you that awesome embossing folder. It's the Dotted Circles 3D embossing folder. Okay, but I don't think I'm going to use that today, but I did want to show you the sample with it. I finally got it. I've been dying to get it. I have no idea if it's in stock right now. I know it keeps going in and out. So let's get busy and recreate something similar, but maybe with a little bit different background. So I did cut that paper. I might cut a different color cardstock. We'll see. But we'll use some of the same stamps. I'm going to use stamps from this one. I've got Time to Celebrate, the little stars or confetti, whatever you want to call that. Plus, I think I already put it back in here. We'll do the Happy Birthday. So this is going to give me 2 fall themed Happy Birthday cards. And I already know who's getting one of them. So my father-in-law had his birthday in October. My mother-in-law has hers in November. And I'm trying to think, does anybody else have a birthday in November? Let me know if you do. All right, so there's that embossing folder. It is humongous, probably like about a 6 by 8.5. Yep. Okay, so grab that if you don't have that yet. That's the first time I used it, was on this card. So we're gonna have to do some cutting and die cutting using all these fun elements here and stamps. I'm just gonna set that over to the side a little bit, and let's see what we can do, what we can create. So I originally thought I wanted to use some paper, the pumpkin pie cardstock, just to make something a little bit more colorful and bold. So that's why I did it on here. But let's look at our pattern papers and see what we can come up with that's a little bit different. So I might need a little bit different, I'm trying to grab the scraps that I have over here. So I really like the idea of using this some more. So I might just use, I kind of want to do those critters, and I'm not sure if, maybe I do have, let me look in my stash of cardstock here. Oh, I have some. I have a little bit of, now let me see, this is I think maybe crushed curry and not, I don't know if it's supposed to be, maybe it's not supposed to be Daffodil Delight. It's probably supposed to be crushed curry in here. That looks pretty close. So let's kind of look and see, I don't know. I may prefer like the Mossy Meadow. Let me look at my colors I have of cardstock. That's probably gonna, well, if I do that, then I've got to do different colors of that. We'll do this, and then maybe that can be some of our pieces that go on top. Okay. Because I'm probably going to do something very similar to what's right there. So our base will be the Mossy Meadow. I'm probably going to need to use both those sheets. So I'm going to set that aside, and I kind of want my card here so y'all can see it. I guess I'll stick it there and just move things around as we go. All right, so let's get our bases cut real quick. This is just a standard size card. So I'm going to do Mossy Meadow. Rearrange a little bit. We're going to cut it at 5.5 inches. So we have our standard size card, and then I'm going to score it at 4 1/4. I think that's in there good. It's not really, there we go. All right, so we have our standard size card here. And then I think I need just a piece of this. I'm going to put that, I believe, right there. So let me cut it at 4. Don't know if it matters so much. Let me see. They're all kind of turned different ways. So let's see. Let's go. So if it's 4 1/4, I'm just going to cut it at 4 and so 4 1/4 by 5.5 is the base. So 4 by 5 1/4. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do it down here. I like this little deer, and he might poke through a little bit. All right, so this piece I think I don't have to have. So that piece is gonna go on top of there. All right, and then we already have our inside cut. I have some scraps that I might need. I probably will need more of these scraps. I may have to grab another piece of basic white. And then on the inside, I think I'll do these same pieces on the inside. So that'll all coordinate really nicely, I think. Okay, and I think I can, while we're here, let's go ahead and score the inside piece here, okay? And I'm gonna move some things around. So Tina, Debbie, Deborah, thank y'all so much for being here. I'm gonna make sure my volume's down so nothing jumps up at me here. I was going to make sure I get my scoring right? So this piece for the inside is 5 by 8. Okay, so this piece is 5 by 8. So let's score it at 2 inches. Okay. So I'm going to use my score blade. 2 inches. Then at 3.5. So write these down if you want them. 2, and then 3.5, and at 5.5. All right, so we should have 3 score lines. And we'll go ahead and see, I believe this piece right here is what's going to go down right here. It doesn't really, but I guess it'll lay like that. Y'all can kind of see that, I think. Okay. So we're going to go this way first. And just want to burnish that really good. Okay, and then we're going to go back. Kind of like an accordion. So right there. But then this one needs to go, flip it over and do it this way, I believe. Let me make sure. Yes. You end up kind of with a little box like this. Kind of like that. All right. We're going to go ahead. We'll just go ahead and decorate this up. We'll put it inside here in a minute. So let's take these pieces and put them inside here. So I have some brand new. Oh, it's still got the plastic on it. It's so brand new. Yeah, this has been a super fun collection. Whoa. Comes out really easy when it's brand new. I'm not used to that because I've been using up old pieces. All right, so I'm going to flip it over so that little deer is right up there. All right, and I've got to watch the time today because I'm only doing this one card today. You'll have 2 different samples though of how you can make it, because Bevan messaged me and wanted me to put a pizza in the oven for her. So I've got till about 11:20 before I have to do that. So I think we'll be good. But all right, so let's go ahead and we'll just decorate this one up the same way I started with the Cajun Craze. Okay, I think that's all. Okay, so you had an 8.5 by 5.5 inch base, scored at 4 1/4. So, and then you had your basic white, which was 8 by 5, and you scored it at 2, I guess it would be over here, 2, 3.5, and 5.5. And then these pieces, I didn't tell you what these pieces are. This one is 1 1/4 by 4 3/4. And then this piece is 1 3/4 by 4 3/4. And then the outside piece right here that we're going to put on is 4 by 5 1/4. All right. So let me get back to my screen and we will. So this is part of this stamp set right over here. I'm going to do the little sparkles, confetti down in the corner right there. And then I'm going to stamp the time to celebrate. And you can put it anywhere on here, your little heart desires. But I'm just going to put it right, nest it right down in there toward the bottom. So this gives you a little room up here to write a sentiment if you want. Okay. So very little stamping. I guess I still need that. Very little stamping on this. There's still so much that can be done with this bundle. I haven't even scratched the surface. That you can go check out Pinterest and find tons of ideas. Just put in SU round we go if you're trying to justify the purchase of it, which I would highly recommend. And if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator yet, I would love to be your demonstrator. All right, so there we've got that. I'm going to set that aside. We don't need it. We need to work on building this now. So we can go ahead and glue this. I am just going to put adhesive just along the outside here. And then I got to remember not to press so hard. We don't want any in the middle because that piece is going to be cut out. And we can use some of this on another card. So you're really going to love how that little piece comes together right there. Okay. I think I'm going to have to move it out of the way though temporarily, because we have to bring in the big cut and emboss machine. I think I'll kind of do it at an angle maybe here so y'all can see what I'm doing. There we go. All right, give me a second. I'm going to take a sip of coffee that I have left. Didn't even manage to get through my first cup of coffee this morning. And my throat's a little scratchy feeling. All right, so let's put that in there. We're going to have to do quite a bit of cutting here, but let's start with just this piece. We want to cut this out of here. So let's line that up. You want to make sure that your cardstock is open like this because you do not want to cut through this piece, just this part. So here we go. I think you'll be able to see here. I'm going to grab myself, I have a little bit here actually. So I'm going to pull it up and kind of eyeball it. Make sure I've pretty much got it centered there. I'm going to bring it down a little bit more. There we go. And I'm just going to put my Post-it tape on there to kind of keep it in place. And run that through. I think I'm going to cut all my other pieces while we're doing this. All right, so carefully take that off. Now, you saw how that piece popped right out because it wasn't glued down. This can be used on another project, so just set that aside somewhere. I think we're done with that. And now we have, I've got my little take your pick tool and I can go through here. I just need to poke out, make sure all these pieces are, you can just kind of run it across too. There's that cool little, this, that you could run through there as well, but I'm just gonna do it this way real quick. Of course, I'm making a mess of my space, but I'll blow it off and clean it off later. Thank goodness for the weekends where I can come in here like on Saturday mornings and clean up my space and get everything put back where it belongs. All right, so I've got all that out. So this is what we have going on here. And then this piece we want to save. I got to run that through there. You can kind of, like I said, just kind of brush it a little bit. They poke right out. Mostly, let's see here. And you will have to go back. Most of them stayed in here this time in the cardstock, but sometimes it'll all stay. There we go. I'm just gonna blow it away. So we want to keep all of this right here. So I'm gonna set this over here with this, and we'll do all our assembling in a few moments. But we need to cut all our pieces for all these things. So let's do that. And I think I'm just gonna copy kind of what I've already done. And now the dog one's out. Oh, and Cat's one in. Come on, everybody, let's go. Go. Come on. I'll leave the door open for a minute so they can figure out who's going in and who's coming out. There's 3 of them. All right, look at all my pretty mess. I made some confetti. All right, so I want some, let me see what scraps I have here. I think I pretty much used all my pieces like this. Kind of looking to see. I'm gonna try to use my scraps up first. So I think I only have to cut 2 of these. So I'm gonna do this green pattern paper. I'm gonna put it in here so it doesn't move. And so I'm gonna show you how to get 2 of these little rosettes, or the pinwheels. I couldn't think of that name earlier in the week, the rosettes, that's what we used to call them, but they're also called pinwheels. All right, so I need this piece and one more, because you need 2 per rosette or pinwheel. That's gonna just fit on there fine. But similar to what I showed you on Wednesday during my story and sketch, I showed how you could make smaller rosettes. So this is the full-size rosette. I'm going to kind of keep it to compare the different shapes or the different sizes you can make just with this one right here. I'll put it back in here and then I'll show you, I'll compare the sizes. All right, so that's all we need with this die. So now let's just go around. We'll do this one right here. There's 2 different sizes like this. I'm using the smaller one. And we're going to, since our, I think I'm still gonna just do this, pretty much copy the same design as far as all the cutting pieces go. I think that'll make it easiest, because there is a little bit of design process trying to figure out what colors go with what. So we'll just stick with the same things. I need some dots. I need these little circles, and I need 2 of each. Let me see if I have, I don't have. Sometimes Stampin' Up will put multiple circles or multiple shapes, and I kind of wish they had done that with this, but you could do more than 1 each. So I've got those. Go through here one more time. All right, so it's November 1st. Cannot even believe it. What are y'all's thoughts on that? Where did October go? So let's see, what's everybody got to say? Oh, good. I'm glad you're doing a little bit of cleanup, Debbie. And I'm just trying to set it back in there so we can make this move as quickly as possible. Okay, I think I need 1 of these in green. Okay. So I can put back the bigger one. I don't remember, I need a couple of those. Looking at all my shapes. Okay, so I think I'm done with, not quite, but I think I'm gonna have to find another scrap. Ooh, I have one. Because real quick, I'm gonna go ahead and do this piece right here I need. I'm gonna put it down here, just closer to my, okay, this is that I'm using is Cajun Craze, but this is our two-toned cardstock that's brand new to Stampin' Up. So one side is the true color and the other side is a lighter shade. So like if you laid it here, you could see the contrast. So you can build them up like that. There's, like I said, there's so many ways you can use this bundle. All right, next I'm gonna do, before I forget, I want a little green piece of olive cardstock. Let me see if I have any scraps. I thought I had some laying around here. So before I cut into another piece, it's just hiding from me. There it is. Okay, this is actually our two-toned cardstock as well. So I need several. I need that one and this one. And I hope I'm getting it on there. I think out of the cardstock, that's all I need. So we'll just run through this, and once we have all these pieces cut, then it all comes together fairly quickly. I was panicking. I was a little late today because I was like, oh, I don't know if I can get all this done. And of course, you know, I had to try to figure out exactly what I was doing. All right, so I've got a couple of scraps here. Let me see if I have any more that'll work before I cut into a new piece. Out of this designer series paper, you actually get, I think I'm gonna have to cut into a new piece. You get 4 sheets of each paper. So there's 4 of these, so you get the front and back, and then 4 of this pattern, and then there's some, this is my stash of stuff over here is falling all over the place because I'm just piling stuff. Here's another one. This is another pattern, if you haven't seen this paper. So it all coordinates really nicely. So, pretty cool. All right, I'm gonna have to cut this in half because I do need some bigger pieces than my scraps will allow, I believe. So we'll do that. I'm just cutting it at 6 by 12 and putting the other half in my stash. But let's see what we can get out of here real quick. All right, so I've got that one. I need one of these on here. I need 2 actually, but I think I can get one out of this piece. Alrighty. And use my take your pick tool. I had it. Oh, there it is. So I could try to pop that out of there. All right, so there's that one. And I need 1 more of those. So I'm gonna have to use this piece. I'll put it up here in the very far corner. Boy, do I have a mess to clean up. I don't know how I get so messy so quickly. I'm sure none of y'all can relate to that. I'm sure every one of y'all put all your stuff right back where it goes every single time, right? All right, so there's that one. Now I need some bigger scraps of, because I don't think these are going to be big enough. Let me see. That one actually will work because I need this white piece. Oh, I just realized I cut the wrong one on that one. We'll reverse it. Let's do, instead of this one, I want this one, this larger one. So we'll just reverse this one right here, and I think it will just barely fit on there. Hopefully it won't cut off the tips. If I can lay this down flat, yep. Yeah, it would be wonderful if just magically our craft rooms stayed all nice and tidy, and we could find all the things that we wanted when we wanted them. God, everything's just sliding over here. Okay, so that piece can go with that one. That'll work fine. So I think we have all that done. Now I need this. So maybe I can do a little, I don't know if that one. We're gonna make it work. So if I cut off any tips, then I'll see if I can hide them. I think that was just about right. Okay. That works. All right, so that goes with this. I'm just kind of making sure I've got the pieces there. I'm looking, let me make sure. I think I have it all cut. So we've got that one up there, that one, and then we're doing the 2 rosettes. Perfect. Uh-oh, my putty thing fell out. Let me get that screwed back in. Okay, so all right, I think that was so much easier than it was while I was trying to prepare. Yeah, just working around, but we'll see. I may have to pull it back out. All right, see my mess I made? Actually, I think I do need to cut 2 of these. All right, so give me a second while I clean up my space, and we'll cut those. I'm just gonna brush all that can stay over there, I guess. And I'll have to sweep too. So let me bring this out one more time and do 2 of these pieces. I need little backings for my rosettes so I can glue them together. I'm excited now that I'm going to have 2 different ones that are, and I just chose this medallion from this collection because it fits behind these little rosettes well. If you had a different circle punch, you could do that. I don't care about the design so much because it's going to be on the back. But it was the perfect size for these tinier rosettes. So I think that was the last that I needed. Okay, now we can put this away. And we can start building. All right. Just clean up a little bit. So here is our sample. Let's bring in, how about we do our rosettes so they can be drying and preparing. So we want to, again, I'm going to set that over here because we need to cut these in half. I'm just going to put, to kind of hold it down on the, since they're kind of folded, well, that one's empty. I'll take one of these, stick it over here. I'm just doing that so that I can kind of hold it in place. So these are 1.5 inches wide. I want to cut it right down the middle. So measure at 3/4 of an inch. So those should be right in the middle there. Lay it down and cut it in half. Okay? And then we can take that temporary glue dot off there. So you're going to have one edge that's scalloped and one that is like zigzag. Like your zigzag scissors. Do the same thing to this one. Try to make sure it's going to stay straight and it's not cooperating. I'm going to put a little bit more. I'm going to just tack just a tiny bit of adhesive. I have more of my glue dots, but they're still in the packaging, so I'm not going to try to tear that open. There, kind of just hold it down so you get a good, nice, clean cut. Nice straight cut, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And then you can, depending on the adhesive you use, you can just roll that off with your fingers or get your rub and remove eraser to take that off. That's what this is. Now we can visit for a minute while I just do these little accordion folds. So, oh, I know I would love to be able to make myself, I clean up a little bit, but a lot of things get shoved over here. I have this big space, and with doing my sale this week, I've been doing it for a while, but I added a bunch of stuff. I just moved everything over there so I'd have this space to work through my product, take pictures, get it loaded up and all that fun stuff. So, yep, I am too, Laura. Clean up, clean up. Does everybody remember that? So, with these rosettes, because we cut them in half and are making 2 out of 1, we're going to have one. You can kind of see by the sample, maybe this looks a little bit different than this one. They're the same size, but one has a scalloped edge. So you'll want to, this is the one with the zigzag edge. So those are the pieces for it. And then here are the scalloped pieces. So they look a little bit different. So now I'm trying to figure out when or how I'm going to keep creating with this collection. I might have to do like a card craft along workshop or something, because there's still so much more I want to do with it, but I don't want to feature it again for another week. So, because I think I need to jump back into Christmas, even though it's November, time of Thanksgiving. That's kind of why I did this collection the end of October and wrapped it up today. All right, so now we need some seal. There it is. And we need that along with our liquid glue. We need a block or two to hold down our pieces. So we want, I don't know why, like the first time I did it, they nested in there just right. And now they won't do it because I guess I folded them the same way or something. But if you happen to do that, so if you happen to get to where they're both turned the same way, just glue them together like that. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do with This one I'm going to put it on, I'm going to put some seal on that little tab right there, and then we'll just line it up. I'm going to do it this way so I can kind of see better, I think. So you can kind of see what I'm doing. All right, just kind of press that so they're, yeah, so that part is glued. Do y'all see how that works? Okay, and then just kind of make sure your accordion, kind of have to squish it back to make sure it's all folded right again. Make sure it's crisp. Kind of tighten it with my fingers, and then I can put some adhesive on this end. I think it's on, goes on the back. And then when you pull this around, you're going to glue it the same way. Just line up the bottom. I'm going to flip it around this way so I can see a little bit better, maybe. And then push them together. Once you're sure you have it adhered right, then you can lay it down. Now I want the green to show, but I'm going to go in like this way. Let me show you kind of how you push it in like that. I'm going to put this piece on the back here. So I'm going to put a good, doesn't matter on this which way, because this is going to be the back side. Put a nice amount of glue on there. Have it ready, maybe with a tweezers. Just want to make sure that your pointy pieces are on the outside, and this is where it just gets a tiny bit trickier. And I need to watch some tutorials to see how everybody else is doing this. This is how I've done it for years, and someone may have a better solution of how to do this. I think, Debbie, you said you use a big glue dot. I don't know if I have big glue dots. So I'm gonna layer, I'm gonna hold it like this. Whoops, see, I'm already coming apart. I gotta hold it for a minute. Just kind of, and make, because you want to make sure it's tight. So hold it down for a second. And then maybe, I'm getting like glue everywhere now. And this is just gonna kind of hold it in place. I can kind of move it out of the way, maybe, and do the other one. So I may be making this more difficult than it needs to be, but I'm gonna clean up my space real quick before I make another mess. It'll be the only time. All right, and then we're gonna do the same thing with this one. This one's gonna work right though this time, for whatever reason, I don't know. But I'm gonna use seal. Now if I grabbed my, here's a tip, if I would grab my silicone mat, I could do it on here and it wouldn't get on my glass mat. I gotta get it started. So just need enough seal right there. And this will be like the most time consuming part of the project right here, really, is just making these. Okay, flip that over and tuck that inside there. And then bring it around and glue that. Just make sure it's lined up well right there. Press it, make sure it's glued good. And then I'm just gonna go again around and make sure all my accordion pieces are, there we go. So this should make it. And then this is real easy just to get off either with your finger or your chamois. And then let's do this again. We want to make sure that we're going to have the scallops on the outside. I'm going to get this prepped right there. Press that in. Oops. So you just have to kind of finagle it some. I had it and it decided not to cooperate. So sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. Come on. Doesn't want to. It's, yeah, not being cooperative this time. Why, oh why? Okay, there we go. I don't know why it was being so uncooperative. Okay, I'm just holding it with my fingers. I'm gonna grab that, put it down, and then press it back in some more. Just kind of hold it. You know, if you're not on live and you're just watching me or someone else, another YouTuber or something, you could sit here with your finger on here like that if you wanted to. You have 2-inch glue dots? Oh my gosh. Where'd you get those at? I don't even know if I've ever seen 2-inch glue dots. All right. So there's that. That one's probably ready. So I'm going to smooth that over here. And now we can assemble. Okay, so let's bring back in these pieces because we'll do these kind of as we do the front. All right, so remember, we cut out that using this right here. We had an extra piece, find it in my stash over here that is in my scraps now. Okay, so these are our pieces. Standard size card base, we have that piece we're going to use, and then this is what gets laid down in here. So let me see if I can get this done correctly. So this piece we're going to glue. It seems kind of tricky, but it's really not the way Melissa showed. And I think actually, let me see here. You fold it like this, put the glue on there, and then you know how to lay it in here. This goes right up in here. I'm just trying to remember how she showed. Okay, so make sure it's like right in the crease. Center it. And then you know it goes like that. So that's how you know where this lands, okay? And then from here, I'm just going to use some seal. You're going to put some glue right here, right down here, and then on this side right here. And make sure you get it going. All right. And now you can close it. So you've got glue right there, here, and over here on that inside. And then ta-da! How fun is that? It really is. It looks complicated, but it's really not that complicated. And then this piece, when it's closed, you're going to adhere it to this piece right here. So just put, you can do it right like this. You can put some adhesive right there, just in that little area. And then place this inside. If you want to line up your circles, maybe try to do that. Just make sure it's on there good, and then watch the magic happen. Ta-da! So it's that simple. Okay? Okay, now it's time to decorate. All right, so let's start with this piece right here. We're gonna put it there. I am gonna use trying to make myself as much as possible use my liquid glue since it just goes a little bit further. All right, so here we'll kind of do it like this so we can see what we're building. All right, and then we can take one of these. I think I'm gonna do, you know, this one right here, I think I actually did it the opposite way then, because look, it looks a little bit different. So either way works. So I did the zigzag, I guess, in the center when I was doing that. I was in a rush, so I wasn't paying close attention. So you can either put these either way, and they're pretty much the same exact size. While we're talking about that, so this is how the original size is when you do the full 1.5. Is that what I said? 1 1/4. Let me see here. 1.5 inch. So the strips are 1.5 inches, and it makes like a 3-inch rosette. When you cut them in half, like I showed you, at 3/4 of an inch, then you get a 1.5 inch piece. Okay? Then you can cut off just maybe a 1/4 inch. So you can get varying sizes of these using that one piece right here. Okay? All right, so I think I'm gonna put this one down here. Since it's zigzaggy like this one, I'm gonna put it right there. So we can just add the glue on the back, center it. And while that is adhering, let's build up these little pieces. I'm gonna set that right up there so I have some space to work with. So I think these together, and they're gonna kind of nest together. Let's put a little bit of adhesive right there. I'm gonna use my tweezers just to kind of position it, line up one side, and then kind of just work around. There we go. So you have that little rosette. We can go ahead and I'm going to clean up my little glue mess right here again. And I may have to do that a couple of times. Let's bring in my silicone mat. All right, so we have that piece. We can go ahead, so that's that one. I can go ahead and put the little circle. I don't know what Pumpkin has right now, but last night he brought, not into the house, but into the laundry room area back behind me, he brought, like a 6-inch little snake. It was dead and squished up by the time he brought it in. Probably just a garden snake, so I didn't completely freak out about it. All right, so now this one is going to be similar to this. It's just kind of opposite as far as if you look at it real close. The white's bigger on this one. This is why I need to remember always, I need one of those little things you set right on the desk. I have something inside my little container over here, but all right, so let's get that nested in there. And then we'll do a big dot, a big circle in the middle of that one. Okay, so yeah, it's just glue squirting out from the back. But anyways, Pumpkin's over there playing around. Doesn't really matter if you do that one on the top or that one, because we're covering it up with these little dots, so you can't really tell the difference. Okay. So there's a good example of doing the same rosette. Ooh, be careful, the tear kind of come off easy too. same size rosette in 2 different patterns, whether cardstock, maybe cardstock in one pattern. And then this is showing where you're using the larger size with the smaller size. So you've got those options. And then this one, that's where I'm going to use the little old olive circle. If I didn't put on quite as much glue, it wouldn't be squeezing out the back. But okay, and then clean up my mess again. What do we have left? We have this and that. Okay, so we just need to put the little one on this one. And then I used some of those faux glass dots. They're in my tray over here. And then this one we can go ahead and adhere over here. So we'll need to stamp our happy birthday and cut that out and do our ribbon and our glass dots. And I need to spread that around a bit. And we'll pretty much be done. So I was panicking a little bit in the beginning because, or before I went live, because I thought this might turn out a little bit more difficult than I thought it would. But it's working out really well. And I might wrap up before I have to get up and turn on the oven for Bevan's lunch. All right, so there's that. Now we can just, I did use some dimensionals. So let's do this one. I'm gonna have to check out Hobby Lobby. I hardly ever go there anymore because I just use what I can get from Stampin' Up usually now. Okay, you want to be careful. That's kind of why this one's not gonna fit inside a card very well, because it does kind of, it ends up going behind. You'll be better off letting it, once you open it up, positioning it so it goes behind there. And then this one, let's see what I want next. I want this one. See if I can get it up without tearing it. It's like kind of stuck. Sticky too. That's the only thing I don't like about the liquid glue. My fingers are always sticky. I tore off a couple of these. I managed to fix it, but then I'll just overlap them just a tiny bit. Again, let it open up and get those kind of behind there, at least kind of like that, okay? Because I don't want them hanging off the card too far. All right, now this I can do about right there. And this one I can tuck up under. Probably should have put it down first, but I can put it like right there. I'm so kind of crazy on here today. And then we need to, let's see if I can find, I don't even know if I can find just a tiny scrap of basic white. Let me see here. That's actually, that'll work. I think this is white daisy, but you can see I have a piece that might work. It's still white daisy, but whatever. They're fairly close. The basic white, it's white willow. White daisy with close to my heart, but it was white. It's now white willow. So let's do, I think I'm gonna do it in the Cajun Craze this time. upside down, doesn't matter too much, but I'm just gonna stamp it on here and then fussy cut it out real quick. Then add our bow and our gems, and we are done. So let me show you. This is where I can really show you good how you move your paper more than your scissors. So just, I don't try to get up and around every divot, but I kind of zigzag it a little bit just to make it seem like maybe the Cricut cut around it instead of myself. Trying to remember what they call offset. Is that what they call that in the Cricut design space? There's actually a feature now that you can type out your text and then create an offset, I think is what they call it. And so it'll give you, it'll cut out like the color, and then you could cut out a different color or like white to layer, so you can lay that cut colored piece on top. It just makes it pop, makes for like bigger titles and so forth. But so here, since we don't have a die, we could have kept it like straight if you wanted to, but this is kind of a fun element if you're okay. And this makes it a little bit easier on your hands too when you just do it like this and you're moving your paper around and not your hand, and you're not trying to, you can kind of relax your hand a little bit more. Okay, so now we just need to layer this piece right here, and I'm only going to put, I'm going to put some mini dots on one end. So on the happy end, and then I can put a little glue, maybe a line of glue right in here. I think my chair has slowly been going shorter and shorter. All right, so then you can kind of decide where you want to put it and layer it down like that. I probably should have done that one up with the dot. I didn't think about it. So, but that's fine. All right, now we want, real quick, we just need, oh, I should have put this, I was supposed to put this on first. We'll see, we'll figure it out. Should have done the ribbon or the twine. That's what I'm using. So you may have to like squeeze it under there, but I'll figure it out. Okay, just gonna make a bow if I can with my sticky fingers. I always cut more than I really need, I think. But okay, I'm just looking at, there's my bow, making sure that, so these are my glue dots, Debbie. I just have these little like 1/4 inch glue dots. I might have a little bit bigger ones that are maybe 1/2 inch, but all right, let me see if I can finagle this under here since I messed that up. I could if my thingies weren't sticky. See if I can make this work without messing it up. Put my, come on, people. It's like, there we go. Maybe that'll work. Okay, I think I finally got it. Let me get that out from underneath there, so y'all can watch me struggle so you don't have to. I'm about to tear those pieces off right there. Okay, let me bring that up to the top. There we go. Of course, So I probably kind of want that piece over there too, but let me squish it down right there first. I'm gonna just, I got that glue dot on there, I think. Let me see if I can, I don't know if I can get this in there. I'd like, yeah, we can. Okay, so future reference, just do that part before. You can have that, a little bit of ribbon in there as well. Maybe cut these off a little bit more. We're a little long. And last but not least, don't forget the pretty, I'm gonna do green this time. A little something different, because our background was green. And you could do small ones too. I'm just doing all the big ones, I guess. Could come over here and do, haven't used any of these little ones, but these pieces. Alrighty, so there is, what did I call it? A Flippy Fun Fold. Excuse me. What was the name of the circle dies you used? I used Everyday Details. Yeah, those right there. Everyday Details. It's another one of my favorites. So that's the one I used right there. All right. Has lots of fun elements in it. So there is my card. Ta-da! How fun is that? So very dimensional. This is not one you would mail, FYI. So maybe if you put it in a package, you could do it that way, but do not try to send that through the mailbox because it's a little bit too dimensional. Unless you had like some type of an envelope box, maybe, that you bought offline or something. All right, so 2 different cards, 1 fun fold. Don't forget that now through Monday, you can get the whole full week's worth of, let me look at the time. Okay, I got 1 minute. You can get the whole full week's worth of projects. I don't know if I can find my projects for the rest of the week, but you'll get a PDF for this week's projects when you spend $40. $40 before shipping and tax. I'll send you the PDF with dimensions and photographs for the projects for the week. Debbie, I know I owe you one from a few weeks back, so I'll be working on all that this weekend so that I can have them out before the end of the weekend. Also, let's see here. Oh, here are the other projects real quick. I feel like I'm sitting in a hole. My seat just went all the way down. So these were Monday's projects. So super fun, 12 by 12 layout. And then this was Wednesday's project, the 8.5 by 11 page. That was a little bit in between that big, the full size one, see? So you got 3 different sizes right there. And this one I made into a little pumpkin with the little stem. I used the More Than Autumn bundle to help create this one. So, all right, that's it. I'm gonna have to go and make Bevan's pizza for her. Thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate it. Thank you for commenting, liking, sharing, following, subscribing. All of that helps me so much, and I so much appreciate it. Y'all have a great weekend. First day of the new month, November 1st. Take some time to clean up your space if you haven't done so already. All right. Thank y'all. See y'all on Monday for another Make It Monday Live with Pamela. See you soon.